You are tuned to the Witching Hours, and I'm your host, Kanaska Carter. Today I want to speak about lucid dreams. So first, let's speak about what is reality. Is this just what we are experiencing with our senses, with our five senses and beyond? I do believe that we have more than five senses. So while you're dreaming, you're able to experience different feelings and emotions. It can be quite intense sometimes. I actually just woke up from a very intense lucid dream, and that's how I got the idea for tonight's show. Basically, in the dream, I had found this puppy, and the owners were going to try to take the puppy back. And I thought they were these abusive, neglectful owners. And so I was hiding in the bathroom, trying to escape the person that was coming for the dog. And they ended up finding me. I had to give the dog back, and I was trying to figure out a way to call the cops and stuff like that. And then I saw how the puppy was just sleeping in their sweater peacefully, and I began to cry and I said, "You are a good mom. I'm so sorry. I thought that you were this neglectful person this whole time." And I was begging for forgiveness on the floor because I actually stole her phone to call the cops in the dream, and ended up breaking the phone. But I woke up with tears in my eyes because I was so emotional, and I said, I have cats and I have birds, and I just wanted your dog to be okay, and she forgave me in the dream. But it felt so real. So because dreams sometimes feel so real, are they actually other aspects of reality? When we dream, are we traveling to another dimension? Or is it just our minds getting away with us, and these are fictional things that we're creating in our minds? Sometimes I think that dreams... Okay, so there's many different things that I believe about dreams. You can actually predict. I've predicted my day. I've predicted future events with my dreams. I've had traumatic experiences that will repeat in dreams. I've had spirits visit me while I dream. And I've also just had dreams give me messages. I've also had experiences where I'm abducted in my dreams by aliens and taken onto spaceships, like going to other worlds where there's angels or demons and things like that. So is everything that we dream about, is it based in some other form of reality? Are we seeing our life in another realm when we sleep? Is that when we are able to see ourselves in the multiverse? And now, is that what it is all the time? Or is it different every time? I think it might be different every time, because sometimes I do have dreams that show me my future. Now, in regards to it showing the future, I'm curious if that is just manifested by having an intense visualization about the future. So if you think about how everything is first created in the mind, and then later it's created in physical reality, is dreaming about something and having a precognitive dream, is this just you creating the future? Sometimes. I think sometimes that would make sense. I have had spirits visit me in my dreams as well. So perhaps because you are in this very relaxed state, what is the strangest dream you've ever had that felt real? I remember once having a dream, and I was taken up onto this spaceship, and it turns out that my older brother, who had allegedly died at birth, he was abducted and didn't die at all. and he was taken up onto the spaceship. And I told my brother when I woke up, who he's my younger brother. So in the dream it was my older brother, but he died as a baby, apparently, in this reality. Even though my mother never saw the body, and she was a young mother, and at that time, quite often babies were stolen from young mothers. And he was showing me around the spaceship that he lived on. And I told my brother about it when I woke up, and we both got full goosebumps. Like, is he actually on a spaceship this whole time and didn't die? Reality is just interesting, to say the least. So perhaps because you are in this very relaxed state, spirits, angels, demons, they're able to visit you easier. You're able to see them more clearly because you're in this REM state. And I've never been able to really be in a dream and just know that I was dreaming. But quite often I've had a dream and it just felt like way too real. I woke up in tears this morning. The end of my dream, I was begging this random stranger for forgiveness for thinking that they were abusing their dog when they actually weren't. So, another odd thing. I had a friend years ago, and he told me about how this neighbor of his, every time she would fall asleep, she would be abducted by aliens, and they would take her to this place where they would torture her at night and steal her energy. So perhaps a lot of the alien abductions that we see happen when we're in a deep sleep and we're unable to remember it. If they're interdimensional, perhaps when we sleep, we're going to another dimension. And that's why they're easily able to take us. And they're so, quite often, there are reported cases of aliens coming right through the walls. I had a friend of mine, and she was abducted by aliens quite often in her room. And they would come through the walls and take her. And her twin sister looked just like gray alien hybrids. If I was to think about what it would look like, they had the same very skinny bodies, the big eyes, very alien-like features. Not a lot of body fat on either of them. And it just made me think that, okay, these are definitely some form of alien hybrid twins. So it's also worth noting that somebody messaged me on TikTok saying that I came to them in a dream and I was holding 2 lighters. I gave her 2 lighters and a burnt piece of paper. And I was actually walking around that day with 2 lighters in my hand for some reason. 2 purple lighters. And I had paper that I was writing stuff on. It looked burnt, but it was just coffee stained. I had purposely coffee stained it. I've also had people approach me and say that I came to them. She said I was doing something for protection. And I've also had people come to me and say, I gave them a glittery red scarf for protection in a hotel, and he was wearing a business suit. And that night, I went to a hotel in my dream to present an important idea, and there was a man in a business suit. So our minds are unable to differentiate between when something happens in the mind and when it happens in physical reality. Maybe it is all just reality. And we're made to think that it's just our imagination when really we're able to tap into this intense energy when we sleep. We're able to astral project when we sleep. We're able to interact with other intelligent beings. We can go to other worlds while we sleep. We can speak to spirits and people who have died while we sleep. And we can actually gain knowledge about the past, present, and the future while we sleep. But I don't think that whoever is in power wants us to know this. So they keep us dumbed down, and they try to make us think that dreams are just simply that. They're just dreams, nothing more. It's just a figment of your imagination, when reality is just something we can perceive with our senses. And when you're fully immersed in a very, very lucid dream, it is reality. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of lucid dreaming. I've had way too many dreams where it was more than just like a visualization thing. I was there. It felt just as real as when I wake up and go about my day, you know? And I've had many dreams where UFOs are flying outside of my window, or aliens coming through my balcony and abducting me, and then the next morning felt like I had been drugged. And it felt so real, you know? In the dream, I even escaped from the apartment, went out into the elevator, and I saw my reflection breathing heavily in the mirrors, and then I blacked out. I'm convinced that was an abduction while I was dreaming. It was a reptilian alien that came through the balcony. So either way, I do believe we're able to tap into great knowledge and go to other worlds while we sleep. If you've had a similar experience and it felt like an actual event that happened in your life and not just a dream, let me know in the comments. I want to know what you guys think. And as always, decide for yourself what it is that you believe. But our minds are very powerful, and I believe that we can actually transcend and go to other worlds while we sleep and tap into a vast knowledge and information while we are dreaming. So that is it for this episode of The Witching Hours. I'll see you next week. And happy Halloween. I didn't dress up for this episode, but I will be posting in some costumes. I do dress up quite often just for comedy skits, but I will be posting to social media. So have a beautiful day, and I love you very much. I'll see you next Wednesday or Thursday for another episode of The Witching Hours. I'm your host, Kanaska Carter.